Great Awakening, Peace Reflections, and Godspeed. Godspeed to all the gods walking the earth today. When I come on here, man, I'm gonna give you some that you can think about. That you can think about, and you know what I'm saying, and see if it correlates with your reality that you're in. And most likely it's gonna be because I based all of my knowledge on the objective facts. Today we're gonna be talking about communication, man. Communication is very important because we're all cells within a body, and if we don't efficiently and effectively communicate with one another when we're supposed to, and communicate the right things, then we're not going to be, healing the body. We're not going to keep the body stable. And this whole body is humanity. The body is humanity upon this earth plane. The earth is our body, but we are expressions of the earth in order to be cells within the body of the earth, and organize and maintain a system that is healthy and beneficial for it. So when you're communicating, when you get into an altercation with somebody, you know, you should actually listen to what the person is saying. Actually listen to what the person is saying and where their ideas, where their intentions and their ideas are actually coming from. Once you actually listen and to the intention and where the ideas and stuff that are coming from, you'll realize that there are subconscious programs. You'll realize that this person is basing everything that has happened in their life and correlating it to that moment, and then responding off of the energies that they've already been through. But every moment should be looked at with a clean slate, because in this reality, we should not get too caught up in the illusion of separation. We should know that we're here for specific reasons. We have specific purposes. But when it comes to altercations and when it comes to quote unquote negative energy, we should take it with a grain of salt, and we should actually look at it from an objective viewpoint outside of the illusion of separation, outside of us being quote unquote separate from one another in our perceptions. We actually look at everything as a reflection of ourselves and see, okay, how would I do this? But base it on objective facts. Base it on objective facts of the growth and betterment of everything, and the expansion of the universe, or whatever you want to call it, and the Holy Spirit and God or whatever. And whether you're scientific or spiritual or religious, you should always look with a healthy perspective. You should always look at everything with a healthy perspective. So when you're getting in an altercation with somebody, the reason you're getting an altercation in the first place is because there's something that you haven't dealt with within yourself. There is something that you need to work on within your own mind and your personality and the way that you express yourself in order to avoid the altercation itself. But these things happen so that we may grow through them when we have not acknowledged that. Because everything is for growth and betterment. So these altercations or these arguments or these disagreements are actually there to show us different parts of ourselves and the way that we think. What you got to acknowledge is that all is mental. That's the first law of this realm. All is mental. So if all is mental, then that means everything is your mind, first and foremost. So if you're feeling negative energy, quote unquote negative energy from someone or any other thing around you, or a situation that's going on around you, it's because of your mentality. It's because of how you're thinking. It's because of what thinking has brought you in the situation, and it's also because of the way you're thinking in the situation. So what we must do is not withhold everything that we wish to express within those moments, but express them correctly. But also express them correctly and express them objectively, without letting emotion, without letting our feelings, things that fill us up, make us feel bottled up inside, and where different energies bottled up within us, not letting that overtake your logical mind, not letting that overtake your objective sensories. It's your objective sensory perception. Okay? When that happens, you get people that go through, they just wig out, do crazy stuff, or they just sad and they feel like they want to cut themselves because they feel like they're a victim and they feel like they want control over their lives. When they're going through pain, people that cutters are people that, when they're going through pain and they feel like they have no control, they want to cut themselves because they want to feel like they're the only ones that can bring them pain. They want to feel like they have control over how much pain that they're having, how much pain that they're perceiving, how much pain they're getting. But once we realize that you are not a victim. Once you realize that you cannot, quote unquote, be a victim. Victimization is a mentality. You cannot be an ick, okay? You cannot be an alcoholic. You cannot be a person or conceptualization of a human being that is at bay to a desire, is controlled by their desires. That's why we must have morals over our desires. And we let those morals, those MODs, the MODs be our mods, our modifications. Our MODs are morals over desires. Let that modify our minds in the way we perceive reality. When you have high morals like integrity and compassion and honesty and things of that nature, no matter what comes at you, you hold those things as much as you can. No matter what comes at you, you will be able to stand tall. You're able to stand firm within your objective morals, within your objective mind, within your logical thinking state, no matter what emotion or feeling gets in you or that you perceive. This type of response, this type of response of responding with objective facts, and giving an understanding without overdoing it, or making it a hyperbole or over exaggerating it with your feelings. That is what will get you to every place you need to be exactly the right time for you to experience the life you actually want to live. If you want to be happy or whatever, even though reality is not about being happy, it's about growth. If you want to be in a state of happiness most of the time, then you're going to be in a fluid state. You're going to be in a neutral state. You're going to be in a state where no matter what happens, you will be able to think about it constructively and use your energies wisely. You're able to think about everything that's happening to you constructively, happening around you constructively, and use your energies very wisely. Our mind is not comes from, but is a representation. The sun is a representation of our mind. The sun is a representation of the all. Shining light. All possibilities are coming out. The sun itself is black. The light itself is all the possibilities of what it's thinking of, or what can be expressed from it. And that correlates with our mind. The sun. No matter where you are in the galaxy, if you are near the sun, the sunlight will hit you. Even if you are not near the sun, that sunlight is gonna, it's gonna become different forms, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So it's gonna go out regardless. So it's not when the sun is expressing itself, it doesn't care. The sun is expressing itself, it doesn't care about who's around. It just wants to express itself. But then you have these different planets that are certain distances away from the sun that take in specific amounts of light based on their takes in the same sunlight, but differently based on the distance it is, or based on the relationship that they have with the sun. So constantly express yourself, but do it objectively. Constantly express yourself, express yourself. And all of the planets that are around you, all of the other celestial bodies, quote unquote humans, or humans, they're all going to take in their light differently regardless. But what you have to do is, when their light is reciprocated, just like when the sun shines light on all of the planets, that all their light and all the other planets and their moons reflect that light back to the sun. So what you must do is, when the light is reflected back to you, take it, because the sun is black. The sun is the black. When the sun is representing a melanocyte within your body. And what melanocytes do is they take in the sunlight. What melanin does is it takes in the sunlight and it distributes it correctly, distributes it to exactly where it's supposed to go. So when that light is reflected back to you from the other person, you take that energy and then you give it back to them in a way that they can understand, in a way that you are fully expressing yourself, but they are not, quote unquote, offended by what you're saying. Now, there are some beings that no matter what you say, they're going to be offended. We're not talking about them. You let them be, because there are nothing but fuel for you to keep expressing yourself. There are nothing but parts of yourself that aren't able to take in your white light that you are giving. They're not able to take in your full expression, which not many will be able to. But you still keep on expressing yourself, no matter what. You just do it in the right way according to who you're dealing with. And the only way to do that when it comes to us persons or us humans is by doing it within our relationships, within our intimate relationships, and letting that branch out into our familial life and our communal life and our business life and all of that. Letting that objective thought process of expressing yourself, but doing it the right way according to what you've learned about the other beings around you, or according to what you learned about the other energies that are within your astrological sphere, which is infinite. Study your astrological energies. Get your natal chart from astrotheme.com, because it's completely free and they give you very specific information. Or you can go to Astromatrix. A friend taught me about, a friend enlightened me, a friend enlightened me, a reflection enlightened me about Astromatrix. They give very specific information as well. Some things you will have to go, you will have to study deeply to actually put the pieces together to find out what they actually mean within your charts. But the chart is very important, even though it's not the exact, you know what I'm saying, it's not the ideal science that, you know what I'm saying, we want to use. We actually making that right now. But it's one of the best sciences. It's one of the best, if not, if it's one of the best sciences. It's one of the best sciences you could probably study, because when you study your astrological natal chart, not horoscopes, not just the zodiac, I'm talking about your astrological natal chart, your birth chart, telling you how your neuromelanin was encoded with subtle, subliminal celestial light upon your entrance into this earth plane, and how that energy, the accumulation of energies, create your natural personality, your natural ego, and the way that you see life before your subconscious programs. Okay? Before your domestic subconscious programs, because the celestial light itself is subconscious, the celestial lights themselves are subconscious programs as well. That's not what I meant to say. I mean your domestic, meaning your culture or your society that you were brought up in. When you study that, you will see how you involve yourself with everything around you, how you are reciprocating information with the universe, and how the universe is actually you, and that nothing outside of your chart is you. Everything inside your chart is you. And there is nothing outside of your chart. Literally, your whole reality is your chart and what you can perceive within your chart. So study your chart and express yourself objectively, but not holding on to the feeling of why. When you break it down, when you understand, because love is understanding, once you understand why situations happen, once you understand why you felt a certain way in the situation, and why you responded a certain way or reacted a certain way to the situation or to the people that were in the situation, the persons in the situation, then you begin to fix, then you begin to tweak, then you begin to update your software and your hardware that you are. The expression of your own mind, of the all that everything is within your subjective form. JAH is here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness, and JAH is overcoming his debilitations. JAH is grateful, full of greatness, full of gratitude for everything around, everything that he is. JAH is grateful and full of gratitude for everything that he is, embracing himself more and more every day. expanding the consciousness and imploding itself back on itself to create renewable self every day. I love myself, family. Share the video, man. Share and subscribe. You know what I do. Peace reflections.